The devs just released their dev diary with the changes we will see this 14th of May. So let's take a look at them because there is a lot to cover. Starting out with the killer changes, we have an actual nerf and buff to Chucky. They removed the scamper ability from his hidey ho mode, and now it's exclusive as part of the slice and dice attack. To compensate, the hidey ho cooldown is decreased 5 seconds, from 18 to 12. This is actually huge. Many players in the community can agree that Chucky's scamper power was way too powerful for how easy you could perform it, so the devs listened and now this playstyle is gone. Instead, Chucky will now have to hit those slice and dice attacks, and since the cooldown is shorter, that means that you get to use hidey ho more. I honestly think this is a perfect change, and while it might make Chucky weaker and not have free value like he used to before, it's still a good change for the health of the game. Bubba received a big buff, as they actually made two of his most used add-ons base kit. I'm talking about the award-winning Chili and the Beast marks. Not only that, they also reduced the tantrum duration for when you miss, which will change locker interactions, and also they decreased the collision detection size to help navigate tight spaces. Despite the devs calling this a minor update, Bubba literally got the best glow up he could get, and I know Leatherface mains are very happy about this. This is the kind of changes that are fantastic for killers, and I hope that in the future Singularity and especially the Knight get this treatment, because it would help them a lot. As for the collision, we will have to see how it feels in game. Slinger did get some small but very nice buffs, as his stun duration is shorter, the real speed is faster, and also he is faster while reloading. Overall, he will feel better to play with, and you won't be as dependent of certain add-ons as you were before. However, Slinger still suffers from having a very poor add-on variety, as a lot of them suck compared to his reload speed ones, so hopefully in the future PTB they focus on add-on changes along with Pyramid Head and Nemesis. Wesker got another extremely healthy change. All Wesker mains agree that the hinder penalty from the infection was something that only helped in tunneling situations, and now not only is the hinder worse by 50%, but also the infection is now back at 1% just to prevent tunneling from being such an attractive choice. This change is just like with Chucky. It's an absolutely healthy and needed nerf that removes one aspect of his power that most players can agree was only annoying to begin with. Blight got a nerf to his iridescent add-ons, which was absolutely needed because they were busted. Glad this changed fast, and even though I can agree that it was fun to roll with Blight using these add-ons, they had to go. It makes no sense that an S tier killer also had S tier busted add-ons. And that's all regarding killer changes. I am surprised at how good they are. There is legit nothing I can complain about. They are all perfect, and honestly, I am surprised at how healthy all of them are. Now let's talk about toolboxes. And the devs have increased the speed of the toolbox Sabotage as well as increased the speed of Sabotage focused add-ons. They did this because they don't want toolboxes to be mostly used as repair tools, and instead they want them to also be Sabotage tools. However, they didn't want to nerf the repair speed, only make Sabotage a viable alternative for those that want it. Again, I feel like this is a fantastic change. Sabotage plays are always an interesting dynamic anytime it happens in a DbD match, and a buff to it is something I welcome, even if I am mostly a killer main. Like, I would rather get hook Sabotage than get background played out of nowhere. And hey, talking about background player, let's take a look at perk changes. Background player received a nerf in the movement speed bonus you get from 200% to 150, same as other exhaustion perks. However, they also reduced the cooldown of the exhaustion from 40 seconds to 20 seconds, effectively reduced in half. This was made to make it not as absurd for survivors to be able to flashlight or pallet save from across the map, but at the same time, this change allows players to attempt it many times with the cooldown changes, even potentially incentivizing players to run another exhaustion perk like Life for when they get chased. Deadlock got a 5-second decrease to its gen blocking time. The devs agreed that the effect is super strong compared to how easy it is to activate, as you literally have to do nothing. I still think Deadlock will be one of the strongest perks in the game, even after this small nerf. Another gen blocking perk, this time it's Grim Embrace, which got its block duration reduced by 2 seconds. Same reason as Deadlock. I also think this perk is not going to see a decrease in usage, especially because you can still combine this with Dead Man Switch, which was the issue, not Grim Embrace itself. DS got its stun duration reduced to 4 seconds. The devs said that the new version was too effective, so they reduced the duration of it. Again, I feel like this is a great change and the middle ground between the useless 3 seconds and the powerful 5. This is for me a sad change. Pop Goes the Weasel got a 10% regression effect nerf, going from 30% of the generator progress to 20%. The devs say that the perk was very strong compared to the conditions to activate it, but in my opinion, a hook is not an easy condition to activate, and sometimes you also cannot use this perk because you start chasing another survivor, you don't reach the gen in time, and it doesn't combine well with gen blocking perks. I understand the nerf, as Pop was indeed strong, but it's still sad to see. Buckle Up finally got it. This perk no longer provides the endurance status effect. Instead, it now makes down survivors sprint at 150% speed for 5 seconds, not causing any exhaustion. The perk essence is still there. It's an anti-slugging perk, but no longer does it protect the rescuer, and also it no longer combines with For the People. Killer mains rejoice! Pain Resonance got a 5% nerf to its regression effect due to the high pick rate, similar to Pop Goes the Weasel. However, I think the devs should take a look as to why everyone runs gen regression perks instead of making them weaker. It's because most perks are just trash when compared. I'll still take this nerf since Pain Resonance is indeed a strong perk, but I hope other weaker perks get buffed instead of nerfing strong perks. Weaving Spiders got a good buff as now it takes 60 seconds to activate, and you don't lose as much progress when you get interrupted from it. All future invocation perks will also take 60 seconds to trigger, which is a good confirmation that the devs want to introduce more of this cool mechanic into the game. Honestly, we will have to see how this change looks like in game, but now that it's only 60 seconds to potentially get 70 charges, 10 per each generator, permanently reduced, this perk is now technically worth it. The only big drawback is the broken penalty, which is still just way too much of a punishment for using this perk, as I think the invocation itself is risky enough since it's done in the basement. Something that I am shocked to see, for the first time in Dead by Daylight history, Decimated Borgo's red tint is gone and it's now replaced with a blue, darker lightning, making this map creepier than before. This is a fantastic accessibility change and I am sure many players will be happy about it. I will obviously miss the old red tint as it was quite unique, but it was horrible for the gameplay as it only made scratch marks and auras extremely hard to see, especially for colorblind players. This is a fantastic change. And finally, they introduced something that I am so glad they started working on: item tooltips. Now, anytime you pick an item that is generated in the match, like the EMPs of Singularity, the spray cans of Wesker, or the Nemesis syringes, you will get a tooltip explaining what they do. This is a goated change that will help new players tremendously, and a good step into making Dead by Daylight more beginner friendly. Honestly, I have to rate this mid-chapter a 10 out of 10. Literally every single change is something I agree with. I see nothing absurd or unreasonable. The changes are healthy for the life of the game, and the best part is that we are also getting a new chapter on top of this along with the anniversary event. So, if the next patch does not contain any bugs or broken glitches like the rubber banding or the epilepsy issue that the last patch got, I will call this one of the best updates to have ever been introduced in Dead by Daylight. Let me know what you think in the comments, Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and also sorry for my voice. I am sick, it is what it is.